We are so excited that so many of you were able to join. Apologies again for that very late invitation. I feel like 2026 has been running away from all of us. Can I just get like a couple of head nods, maybe some thumbs up? Does anyone feel the same way? Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome again. Thank you for joining. I know, like I said, everyone is very, very busy. So hopefully this is a little bit of a break from your day-to-day workload. It should be, a little bit fun just to get to know everyone and kick us off for what we have in store for you for the remaining year. So if you are excited to learn about what Red F is offering for this year's SNAP Employment and Training Community of Practice, you are in the right spot. If you're not in the right spot, I still encourage you to stay because it's a good group of folks. So just quickly, we'll go over the agenda. We're gonna welcome everyone. Like I said, we're so excited you're here. What is this community of practice thing that we keep talking about? Topics for this year that we'll go over. And then we just have some discussion prompts to see where everyone's at, what topics are interesting to you, get to know everyone, because we really want this to be a close-knit group of people, pure learning and sharing, safe space, everybody. And then what we have coming up and making sure that's all on your calendars. So what is this community of practice business? Well, we designed this community of practice, our SNAP employment and training community of practice to support all of you. So all of you or all of your organizations, so someone from your org was part of a previous SNAP employment and training cohort, or you were involved in one of cohorts at some point, or you connected with me and RedF for something related to SNAP ENT. So that's how you all got here into this room, whether you knew that or not, because I know staff turnover is a thing. But this is just a space for us to go over and discuss SNAP employment and training, sort of advanced topics, do some deep dives onto any questions or things that you're experiencing at your organization, questions you have if if maybe you are new to the SNAP ENT space, this is the right place for you. So it's less structured than our cohorts, but that's intentional because we want this to be very conversational and sort of thought-provoking and just a space for everyone to enjoy. Any questions? All right. So what to expect each month. So we have a topic based on our last year's conversations and things that we're hearing in the field. So you'll see those topics as they're scheduled out in a second. So we'll take a pulse from the field, kind of what we're also seeing out there, anything that's changing policy-wise, services-wise, things that might impact your ENT program. And if there's anything that we miss, we encourage you to come off mute or just participate in the conversation as you can or as you feel comfortable. We want to start some conversations within amongst us and you all because you guys are all on the ground doing this work. So we want to hear from you. So we'll have some discussion prompts. So hopefully those will be fun and engaging. And then some practical takeaways, either born from our conversation together, tools and resources that we have found out in the field that might be helpful to you related to that topic, and then practical takeaways. So come ready to engage as you feel comfortable. And then you also have an opportunity to engage with RedF and our team of experts if you would like some additional one-on-one technical assistance. If that sounds like you, please send me an email saying, yes, I would love to meet with you one-on-one. We have some questions we want to walk through. We are more than happy to engage with all of you and your organizations. Any questions? This is all landing very clearly. So this is our updated schedule. So next, or I'm sorry, May I can't believe it's already April, you guys. What is happening? May 7th, we have a mini series embedded in the schedule. So we have three topics that we're calling Snap ENT Nuts and Bolts. What are some of the core foundational concepts to make a strong ENT program? So effective supportive services and all of the things that go into that is our first one. That's May 7th. If that's not on your calendar, please drop that in the chat. I can get that forwarded to you. Our next topic is braiding and blending funding to strengthen your ENT program. So all of that, those requirements around braiding federal funds with ENT funds, any guardrails that need to be in place. That was a really popular topic last year, so we're redoing it for all of you, backed by popular demand. And then also how to blend existing funding if you have that with your ENT program, just so we're making sure we're catalyzing all as much opportunity as possible within what you're already doing, what funding sources you currently have. And yes, Todd, they're all at 11 a.m. Pacific. Wanted to make it easy. Then we have our second nuts and bolts series, so mapping eligibility and referrals. There have been some changes. Has anyone heard about like eligibility changes around SNAP and ENT? Seeing some head nods. Yeah. So we'll go do a deep dive
Our
on.
age limit went up to 64.
Yeah. For yep. That's
And
for
then
work.
for us, a big impact. We've seen a lot of older clients in their 70s coming because of the 20-20-20 rule, and they want to work, they want to volunteer, but they don't want to join a program.
Okay, well, that would be a great question and conversation to bring to that July 9th session. Hopefully you can make it.
I will. I'll be there.
Yeah, and then also, guys, feel free to forward that meeting invite to anyone else in your organization that might benefit from the conversation. It's wide open. Anyone can come hang out. Great questions. Thanks for like that. We're already like well on our way, right? Um, and then August 6th, we have how to talk about your ENT program. This was also a popular session last year where um, the audience really the audience that is in front of you and how you talk about your ENT program really changes, right? So if it's a funder, you might talk about the program differently, like, hey, to maximize our, reimbursement, your support of our program can go, up to 50% further is like one talking point. Versus if you're in front of a potential participant or participant, that conversation looks very different. Or if you're talking to like your executive leadership within your org, right? All of those conversations look a little bit different. So we have some tools and some best practices and ideas on how to frame those conversations for you all. Who's ever like been in front of someone you're like, oh, well, this ENT thing, it's like this, but also like this. Has anyone experienced that? Yeah. And then our third and final nuts and bolts session, effective invoicing. Everyone's like favorite topic, right? I know. But I guess people are shaking their heads. Totally fine. So we'll do a dive into that. If you would like to invite your fiscal folks or the people that handle your invoicing and fiscal things related to ENT, please feel free. This session is for everyone, just so we know, the process from, program delivery through management and approval processes, and then how do things get on your invoices and what backup documentation you should be thinking about. If you also want a follow-up after that session, you are more than welcome to request that. And then we will close out at the end of September, which feels like it's tomorrow, but that's what we have in store for you. And full disclosure, this project has an official end date of the end of September of this year. We're hoping to continue it in some capacity, but that is TBD. So this is the schedule that we have in store for you for the rest of the federal fiscal year. Any questions? Any topics you're like, oh, I really wish we could talk about this? We can try to squeeze it in for you. All right, moving on. I'm going to turn it over to our good friend Kathy at Seattle Jobs Initiative to take it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name's Kathy Metcalf. I'm with Seattle Jobs Initiative. I'm working on this project. You might be more familiar with Nick, who did a lot of this work for SGI, but unfortunately for all of us, Nick retired at the end of December. So you'll be seeing a little more of me through this COP project. We'd like to get to know who's with us today. So if you can volunteer, share your name. Do we want to do it in chat? Samantha, do you want a record of it? No.
No,
okay.
no, everybody just come off mute.
Okay, great.
Share, yeah.
So share your name and title, share your program name, location, city, state, because we're all over the country, how long your program's been an ENT provider, and then one highlight or something your organization does that you think should be a best practice, if you have one you're willing to share. So who'd like to go first? Just come off mute.
Hi, good morning. My name is Olga Madera. I'm from the San Jose Conservation Corps in San Jose, California.
Welcome.
Thank you. We just started actually the CFET in October, and we'll be doing really good. Wonderful topics that are coming up, and very excited to attend all of those topics and bringing the staff over as well to learn more about this program. The best practices for our program is that we already have embedded the job training program and the job supervisor search embedded. So like it's all in one place. It's a one-stop kind of shop deal for anybody that is, of course, coming into the program and enrolling into the CalFresh program so that they can get the benefit of the CFET program. So,
Great. Thanks, Olga. Very exciting. Okay, who would like to go next?
Okay, hi. And just to kind of confuse things a little, my name is Nolga Valadez.
Hi, Nolga.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Likewise. I am here at Three Square Food Bank in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am the Director of Benefit Services Outreach. We are still not an ENT provider yet. We still have not finalized our workforce development program, so we can't share any more than what I just shared because we're still trying to get things finalized on our end.
But tell us what the program you're trying to get started, just so that people have a little idea.
Not a problem. So we are trying to start a workforce development, a culinary workforce development. We have a industrial kitchen in our food bank, and that's where kind of all the practice is going to take place. And we're also trying to actually look right now, because we also have a call center. We're trying to kind of expand our workforce development into the call center, just kind of teaching those customer service skills and how to work in a call center, phone etiquette, and all those things that we're trying to incorporate as well. So yeah, that's what we are doing and working on.
Thanks, Nolga. All right, next.
I'll go next. My name is Calvin Greer. I am the workforce program manager, workforce development program manager here at Vallejo. We're located in Tacoma, Washington. Vallejo Vocation is a nonprofit organization, and we are a BFET provider within Pierce County. Let's see, I've been with the company now 4 years. But prior to that, I was with the Department of Social Health Services for, 27 years. So, oh, there we go. Sorry. Thanks, Sam. Um, Best practices. Let's see. We struggled for a little while in regards to enrollment numbers, but we were able to switch over to we have a first and third orientation into all programs. So I kind of switched that up to be able to capture anybody who was eligible for BFET, SNAP ENT, and we would do a group, and we started doing group enrollments there, and our numbers have actually doubled when it's come to getting participate. Yeah, and it really has. But
That's
now
wonderful.
I just need more staff now. So, but
Yes.
but we've come a long way when it's come to our enrollments and being able to provide services. So, but yeah, I think that was the best practice for us is to be able to be engaged with more people while we have them here in office. Because sometimes with the population we serve mostly were the houseless population. So a lot of times if we would lose track of them or lose them after they've had to come back for that orientation and enrollment into program.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
I'll go next. My name is Tamara Robinson. I'm the BFED Grants and Compliance Manager here at Evergreen Goodwill Northwest in Seattle. This program has been, well, we've been doing BFED here for 13 years thanks to Samantha. She's the one that started the program here at Evergreen Goodwill. Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay, my thing was telling me I was disconnected. I'm sorry. I tell you. So a highlight. Oh my goodness. So we do adult basic education here. We've been doing it for a very long time. And it's something we do well. We also have support. We have youth aerospace here and youth maritime programs. We just launched a facilities maintenance program for young adults. So that's a highlight. I feel like we're definitely serving youth through this program, being that they may be in a household that's receiving benefits that makes them eligible for the BFED support services here. So thank you all for letting me tell you a little bit about what
Thanks.
we do.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Tamara.
Welcome. Thank you.
I can go next.
Awesome.
I am Cody. I am the Career Pathways Program Manager at Uplift Northwest. We are located in downtown Seattle, right on the Puget Sound. And fun fact, Career Pathways is what we call the BFET program here. Nobody knows what BFET stands for, so we renamed it. And I would say our highlight from this year has been developing the actual career pathways that the name refers to. So we've started with things like maritime, IT, customer service, and like office administration. So those are kind of the beginning of the pathways that we're creating. And my business development team is working on hopefully finding employer partners for those pathways as well. So hopefully once they are trained up and ready for work, they will get an automatic interview with those employers and be able to go straight into work and off of BFED.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cody.
Of course.
How long has Uplift been a BFET provider?
Yeah, we started in the second half of FFY 24 or 22.
Okay.
And I've been running our program since 24.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Kathy. I can go next.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Patrick McCune. I'm the Workforce Operations Manager at the Westside Catholic Center in Cleveland, Ohio. We're on the near west side, so Ohio City, if you're looking for the trendy name. And our program has been an ENT provider for, I believe, about 7 years. I've been there for 5. I'm the creator of the Culinary Academy there. We have a culinary program that's been very successful. We've had about 200 graduates in that 5 years, and a workforce development program. And in that 5 years, too, that I've been there, we've had about 600 graduates. And about 50% of our clients are experiencing homelessness. So we work with some of the most at risk and some of the more challenging clients, but we also have, well over 50% every year. We have a graduation rate that high, as well as job placement. So it's been a very successful program. I would say one of my proudest highlights of the program is that we do a lot of mission hiring. So my SUSEF positions are filled by graduates of the program. We have a kitchen apprentice, a cook apprenticeship position in our resource center that's available for 6 months at a time, and we always place a graduate from the programs in that position. It's just really neat what we can do here. I'm also the creating vice president of Catalyst Kitchens, which is a nonprofit national group of culinary training programs throughout the United States. I was just in Seattle a couple weeks ago at Fair Start, so I'm very familiar with some of the programs that are represented here today. It's nice to meet everyone.
Thank you for sharing. Okay,
I can go next. This is Marissa.
thank you. Hi, Marissa.
My name's Marissa Turides. I'm a director of institutional giving. I work for Year Up United, and we are a workforce development organization training young adults, offering training and internships and then connecting them to jobs. We're a national organization. I'm based in Seattle, though. And we've been an ENT provider for a long time, 10 plus years, I think, but I'm new to the program and really got onboarded through the help of Red F and CEO and others last year. So we've launched in our ENT program in the Bay Area most recently, which was a win for last year. I still have a little trouble thinking what we do well. We're on our way, but one thing I do think I'm on the fundraising team. So one thing that I think we have been doing well is using our ENT experience in managing the grant to demonstrate our ability to manage complex grants to other funders.
Yes, it is a complex situation. Thank you, Marissa.
Peace. Excuse me for not having my camera on. My name is Abiodun Henderson. I am the executive director and founder of the Come Up Project, featuring the Gangster Growers training program. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. I have yet to get a staff member to help us become an ENT provider, but I'm very thankful that you continue to keep us plugged into the work that's going on so that eventually we can become a provider. We focus on kind of solving for the crack era and shifting the way society functions now. So we build worker-owned businesses, community-owned grocery stores, and we're an agriculture-based program, and we're just really trying to see if we can plan for the next 100 to 360 years where these jobs that we have aren't even necessary.
That's great. Thank you. Next. There's still a few more of you out there. Okay.
Hi all, my name is Taylor Lewis. I am the Senior Coordinator of Workforce Programs Funding at Chef and Foundation. We have a pre-apprenticeship and an apprenticeship. It's called Healthy School Food Pathway. The mission is to fill vacancies in school food departments with trained culinary professionals so that those school districts have the capacity to offer cooked from scratch, nutritious, sustainable, culturally relevant meals to their students. It is a national program, so right now we are offering it in California and Colorado, Virginia, and New York. But right now we are only an ENT provider in Colorado and California. We are waiting for those RFPs in Virginia and New York right now. But we've been an ENT provider since 2024. And one highlight is that in Colorado, we've been able to integrate our program enrollment and onboarding with our ENT enrollment and onboarding so that it's not an extra step for those participants, so that it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit less intimidating to enroll in another program. So that's been really successful for us in being able to really increase our enrollment numbers in Colorado. And we are working to do the same thing in California, hopefully within the next 6 months to a year. So
That's great. Taylor, are you looking to apply to the 5-year program in New York?
yeah, yep.
That RFP is out, I believe.
Is it? I've been trying to monitor it, but I might have missed it. Last I heard it was supposed to be
Okay.
spring to summer 2026. So I will definitely check back in on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I can send you the link. If you throw I should have Samantha will have your email, but if you want to throw it in chat, then I can make sure you get the link.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
We're already making progress. You guys, look at this. I love it.
Okay. Let's see. Who would like to go before I have to start calling on you?
I can go next.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jessica Hanel from the LA Conservation Corps. I'm the Grants and Contract Enrollment Manager. We're located in Los Angeles, California, and the Corps has been an ENT provider for the last 3 years. One highlight. I think for us, one of the best practices that we have with like our participants is we've been having leadership councils across all sites to get our participants' voices heard, but also to get them more involved within like what's happening in our organization or at our sites and like any changes that they want to see. And then I guess with Scale Up specifically, like the communication that we have on the programmatic side with the fiscal side, I think is a great practice for invoicing.
That's great. Thank you so much. Exciting to hear more about that when we talk about invoicing. Share your successes. Okay, next. Let's see, who hasn't gone?
Hi,
Hi,
I'm Christine Dendy with Bobby Dodd Institute. I am the performance and quality manager over the programs at Bobby Dodd. We are currently not an ENT provider. We're still exploring it as an option to go along with our current programs. We work mostly with people with disabilities to help get them employment or benefits and things of that nature.
Wonderful. Do you have a highlight?
No, I don't have a highlight.
Okay. All right. Something that you're proud of for your program?
Well, our program is finally expanding, and so it's growing so that we can accommodate the possibility of the ENT program.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. All right. Who hasn't gone? I'm looking. Oh, Patrick. Think. Willie?
Hi, everybody. I'm Willie Duncan. I'm with the Coalition for Responsible Community Development. We are a workforce development organization, like many of you guys. We operate a workforce center for LA City. We're about to launch our workforce center for LA County. We have a youth source center. We have 2 business source centers. And so we work with youth and adults, and we're in Los Angeles, California. We are not currently an ENT provider. We're looking forward to the RFP that's going to be released this year, hopefully, so that we can apply. And one thing that we do well is we have been building our ecosystem for a while, so we're pretty proud of that. One of the things that we build is our social enterprise. We started that back in 2010. So that gives us the opportunity to, when we train people in like construction and MC3, that we're able to move them over to our social enterprise and put them on projects and city contracts. So we're just working to continue that. And that's it for me.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Andrea, are you back? No, she put in chat that she had to step away. Just wanted to check. And anybody else that hasn't had a chance to introduce themselves? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. The diversity of the programs and of the people and the different levels of experience will make this community of practice much more robust, which is nice for all of us. So our first discussion kind of we want to think about is for new and current providers, what part of SNAP ENT feels the most complex right now? If you want to throw a number in chat, is it supportive services documentation, invoicing and reimbursement, eligibility and referrals, case management, expectations, or something else? And if it's something else, you can just tell us what that something else is that's feeling really complex right now.
Or if you're a seasoned provider, if you want to throw something in the chat too, you are welcome. We just wanted to make sure we had a variety of questions for depending on who joined the conversation today.
Oh, can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay, so the hardest thing I'm trying to figure out right now is that we had that whole shutdown and we can only partially bill for November. How am I supposed to figure that out? If anybody knows my pain right now.
I mean, I can speak to what we've done in some states, and a lot of it has been based off of the guidance that we've received from that state on how they wanted us to handle that in some situations. But let's take one of my states as an example. Actually, it wasn't just related to the shutdown. Their state plan hadn't been approved. So they didn't, even after the shutdown was complete, didn't have an approved state plan to operate under. So we could only bill for once that state plan was approved. So we had to look at two things. One is our operating expenses that were over that period of time that we would just normally allocate. So we took those operating expenses and just prorated it. So if there, in this particular instance, it was for the month of October, actually, let's use that because when the government shutdown started and when we received that notice, we were only allowed to bill, I think, the first 13 days of October, which is when we received that first notice. And then the government shutdown was in effect. So we billed 13/30th of those operating expenses for that period of time. So whatever those were, your telephone bills, your utilities, or whatever you had allocated and approved in your budget, then that's how we allocated that. Now, the staff salaries, that was a little bit differently because there you have hourly people and you have salaried people. The salaried people were easy because we just were able to take that same 13/30th rule but apply it to the working days. Your hourly associates, though, we had to find out in that period that was allowable who worked on the hourly rate and then only bill for that. so that you weren't potentially where you had payroll crossing over, that you were billing for hours that were for people in that shutdown period. So that's how we handled the two things. We prorated the operating expenses based off of operating days within that we were allowed for, and then only billed for the staff salaries that were within that period. But I don't know if that is helpful.
Thank you so much. No, that is so helpful. I really appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you.
Great question and great like collaborative answer. There's some questions in the chat I want to make sure we highlight. Calvin said ABOD case management and notation, but I think he may have stepped away. Olga says case management and case notes. There's a lot of questions related to case notation. So I want to like highlight that. Olga, if you want to come off mute and maybe say a little bit more.
Hi. So yeah, for our program here, it's been a little bit of a difficulties with we have a lot of staff members that work with our members because they're in different, we have two different sites and they're in different programs, and so they're like kind of all over the place. We do have case managers, which we call them support navigators, where they work with them on their barriers. And so we do have like a central location where they, type in their case notes and stuff like that, but it's very limited to like, what we really want to stay on the case notes. So I have run another program before, way back in the day called the WIA program. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the WIA program. It's like probably, I don't know, like maybe 15 years ago. But we used to just keep like a confidential, a Word document where we would put all of their case notes in there, right? With this other program that we have here, it's a little bit complicated, so it's kind of hard to keep track, and for the navigators and all of the other staff members to actually put their case notes in there. It's difficult for them to put in there and remember like, okay, who's CFED, because not all of our participants are CFED members. So that's where we're like, kind of trying to have a central location, and because I do all the reporting for the visas, I'm the one that has to, go and talk to them and actually, hey, I need a case note for this client. There's no case note. Where are the case notes, And so it's a lot of like, oh, I don't have time or this and that. They're like, excuses after excuses. So it's just that's kind of been, I'm trying to have a program where it's easier for them so that they're able to put case notes in there. And we don't have to go through this whole coordinate data, huge database that we have here internally. So that's where we're at, with the case notes kind of situation. And then like, how much of it can they put in there? What, for confidentiality, like, because sometimes the participant doesn't want to say a lot of this stuff because they don't want things to go into the case notes because they know that they're CFED participants. So yeah, that's where we're at.
You speak my language as far as the challenges that come about when you're dealing with having to, one, document that you're doing certain things that are required with your grant, especially when you have a large enough program that you have your own case management system, but you also then have to take that information and transfer it into, say, your grant holder system as well, right? So what we've done, one of the things that we've developed in our program is a standardized case management template of this is what needs to be in a case management note whenever you're interacting with that participant. And then we've trained all of our case managers on this is what this format looks like. This is the standardized language we'd like you to use. It's very still conversational, so you're keeping it participant centered. But then you're at least capturing these standardized requirements. But then you're like, well, what about this particular grant? And they have this particular requirement. One of the examples I have is Colorado. Like, we need to document in our case note to the state that we assess that participant at every meeting for their supportive service needs. Now, we do that as a general practice whenever we meet with our participants, but it's not part of that standardized case comment that we're trying to create. So what we've done is it's a combination of, do we know we're doing it? And if we are doing it and we can show that we're doing it in our own case management system, we've created just an automatic, whenever these events happen, we generate that case comment automatically so that it just hits the participant's file, so that when we have to upload all that information, it's there. And then the other thing is like, if that's not even possible, then just creating some sort of a reminder, whether it's a task system or our data and contracts team, they kind of manage that to say, like, this grant holder or this participant needs to have this thing every single month. And then they create that reoccurring task so that they're reminded. So it's a combination of things for sure. But one is wherever you can standardize it across the board, like maybe like it's just a best practice, create that standardized case management template and train all your people. And that would be my first recommendation. And then for those more specialized things, you might have to just come up with some unique strategies, I guess. But standardization has, I think, been the biggest help for us in making sure we're capturing, because a lot of grants, they have those same requirements. And a lot of things, we're doing them, we're just, how are we documenting it?
For us at the core, I would say that we don't really limit a lot of what we add into the case note. Maybe like the like health stuff is stuff that we might not include, or like legal stuff. But for the most part, we include the same information for all of our participants, whether they're in Skill Up or not. And then one thing that I have gotten into the practice of, because of our last audit, was I'm checking monthly to see that everyone who was on our roster for that month does have a case note. And I've been in communication with our core navigators / case managers to let them know, like, if they were on it for February, like, make sure you're checking in with them for March. And so then that way we can ensure there's at least one case note. And then something else that, like, for us was pointed out to us during our audit was that you need to ensure that there's an exit case note. So if they get exited from the program, just make sure that you're adding that as well.
Great discussion, guys. I'm so glad everyone has been, posing things that are challenging to them. I'm glad this discussion question prompted some thoughts and feedback here. I think, Kathy, anything in the chat we want to highlight before moving on? No. All right, we have another
Kathy, I think
question.
you were muted. Sorry. I saw you talking.
Thank you. You're right.
Oh.
I want, ABA stands for able-bodied adult. FNS is no longer using the term ABOD either. That's something new I learned this week. So that will probably be moving, ABOD will probably be moving out of everybody's vernacular. So just be aware of that, as they're calling them time limited or work required participants. So to try and get away from the term ABOD. It's interesting that they've gone to able-bodied adult. and gotten rid of the dependents part in Cuyahoga County, mostly because dependents now has to be under the age of 14, I would assume. So just an update on that. I'm trying to think. Anybody else? Tracking of ABODs and case notation is an issue for a lot of programs as they're trying to keep track of that. The nicest thing is to have a state that trusts that if you put in the number of hours they're attending for the quarter or a time period, that you don't have to actually enter in weekly attendance. Some states are much more strict about those things than others. So advocating for less strictness with the amount of people that are now having to be managed is a way to think about talking to your state agency about how their expectations for that documentation. Something to think about. That's all I've got in chat. Okay, here's a second question. What happens most often when you submit your invoices? Are they approved without issue, minor corrections needed, frequently rejected, or you're still working on your process for your invoices? Anybody wish to share? Those of you that are more experienced.
For us, it's occasionally minor corrections, like for the activity logs. Maybe the cost on the log doesn't match what's in the spreadsheet. So we just have to update that. And then I think that's been the same thing for like our contractors or subcontractors as well, just making sure that those two numbers are matching all the time. Yeah.
And who checks that before you turn them in?
So I'm usually putting it together, and then our billing specialist is our second eye on it. So she's kind of pretty much checking my work, but there's still times when, unfortunately, we both don't catch it. And then Chow will let us know.
Of course. Great.
We do really well at it. We're approved without issue most of the time. There's never any issues at all. When there was a transition in our accounts payable department, I just took a little extra care in noting on like, the comment section of a check request or a credit card request. I would write down right on there, SNAP 50/50 eligible purchase. We also created different areas in our PO box. Like we use Gordon Food Service, and the PO box is always blank. Well, we have everyone go in and either put in, Resource Center, Shelter, or TCA, which is the Culinary Academy. And I know that parts of the Shelter and the Resource Center can be SNAP 50/50, and we go through that and highlight those. But we know for sure anything on that TCA invoice for food is 100% SNAP 50/50 eligible.
Great.
For
setting up processes to track. Oops, sorry.
I was just going to say, for our groups that are not yet providers, we have a discussion question that we'll turn to in a second, but also hope you're taking notes, because these are some great like tips and tricks and pieces of advice. So don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. But we're hoping that through these discussion prompts and this being our kickoff, we can get some good conversations started and some good tips and tricks and takeaways for best practices as you move through the sort of snappy and tea timeline, as I like to call it.
I thought you had that covered for us, Samantha, with the recording.
I mean, yes, of course, but
okay. Hey, I'm gonna take that easier out. My notes are terrible, so I'll take that.
Yeah, you'll always be able to access these recordings. They'll be posted on our landing page, which we'll kind of look at in a second too.
Do we have time for one more?
Yes. Let me move to the next question.
Okay. So for those of you who haven't become providers yet, what is your biggest barrier preventing you from becoming a provider? Is it capacity, understanding the requirements, upfront funding, finding the right partners, or leadership buy-in? What are we struggling with?
Hi, this is Nolga. For us is funding. Funding has been the biggest challenge on our end to even be able to start the program. So funding.
Great, thank you.
From
Kathy,
from what I've heard from out west there, Washington State and Oregon, it's a little different than Ohio. Is just access to the application timelines to get into a SNAP program, but also like out west, it's subcontracted, and so there's some of these other red tape things that seems to be difficult to navigate if you're just getting into it.
Yeah, some of the states that have had programs for a long time are, reaching a capacity of not necessarily wanting to bring on more programs because they feel like they're serving everybody, or they've had to go to intermediary contracts, which sometimes can be harder to figure out who you're supposed to be contracting with. You're absolutely right. All right. Well, Sam, let's move on and tie us all together.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'm going to move through. We had a bunch of discussion questions built in case the conversation moved quicker. So don't look at these. Close your eyes, everybody. Just kidding. Let me just get out of here. So can you all see? Oh, just kidding. Hold on. Okay.
There we go.
Presentations and Zoom, I tell you. So up next, make sure this is on your calendar, May 7th, our SNAP ENT Nuts and Bolts series, Effective Supportive Services. You can read the description below. We will be going through all of the things that are best practices around delivering effective supportive services, opportunities to maximize your reimbursement, all of the backup documentation. So come ready to chat with your peers, talk about things that are best practices, pain points, the good, the bad, and the ugly that are occurring in your program. For our prospective providers, this might be a good opportunity to set your program up for success as you're sort of awaiting that opportunity to apply and hopefully onboard as a provider. Everyone is, like I said, welcome to request one-on-one technical assistance if you would like some one-on-one work with our team of experts. And then we also have our trustee community of practice landing page, which let me pull this over in just 1 second. Let me get out of here. Oh my gosh, why? There we go. So has everyone, you should have received a link to this. Raise your hand if you don't have it. No hands, perfect. So here you'll find our schedule. So this will be uploaded into this little box here. So you can just go to this landing page and always click right on the page and it'll start playing our recording. Any tools, slide decks, and so on will also be posted here right next to right next to the session that you're trying to click in. So that should be something that's easily accessible. The password to this web page is all caps community. In the follow-up email, I will send that out to all of you. And I want to save the last couple of minutes for any questions that we may have about community of practice, who can join, other topics you'd like to see before we close out for the day.
I just have a